If I ask you to close your eyes and imagine a research scholar, what will come to your mind? Take a moment, take a deep breath, and tell me in the comments. Pause this video. Mostly, if I'm not wrong, the answer would be somebody who is stressed, somebody who has glasses, somebody who is overworking, studying. These are the images that could pop up in your mind. This is just my assumption, but what is yours? You tell me in the comments. We have a certain idea of how things go in job or how things go in a business. Okay. But PhD nobody really knows about, because let's face the fact, who prepares you for a PhD? Is there any school, course or anything that will prepare you for a PhD? No, right? Even I didn't know so many things. Those I came to know when I actually took admission for this course. So it's not your fault either, and it's not mine. And all this puts an unnecessary pressure on a research scholar to complete it. You don't know anything about something, you have jumped into it, and then you are expected to finish it. And when I say it's not for everyone, just because it is for some people does not mean you are in a vulnerable position or you are in a position where you are considered inefficient. Yes, it offers flexibility, but there is a price for that. It may not be everyone's cup of cake. Everyone may not want to invest so many years into this. Today we'll see what are the different things or assumptions, or you can say different types of aspects to a PhD, which makes people believe that PhD is a tough. And if it is tough, then how are we going to deal? Each one's topics are different, so there could be difficulty in relating with others, and self-motivation is a real thing, okay? I didn't realize it. Earlier I used to think I read books, I socialize, and then you get out of it, but motivating yourself is a real thing. One option you have is to accept it, that there will be days when you will feel demotivated. Okay. To prepare your toolkit according to it. In our house we have a first aid box. When something goes wrong, the first emergency steps we can take. We have our plumbing toolkit. Whenever something goes wrong, before the plumber comes, at least we can try something. So these are some of the things that we have. In case of PhD also, it's always better to have a toolkit. And what exactly does it consist and all of that, we'll see in the later part of the video, because sometimes there are days when there are a lot of things happening in your friends' lives, there are a lot of things going around. Not everybody can relate to what you are going through. A job or a business, people have a clear idea, but PhD is something that even those who are in academics, I find them very ignorant and very naive about these things. In a job, it's clear who is your hierarchy, it's clear what are the different roles and responsibilities of each person. Sometimes in PhD, these things are quite ambiguous and vague, so you don't know exactly what is the position of each person in the lab or in the surrounding that you are working. And here there is no hierarchy, so everyone tends to take things at a different level, and whatever they perceive is expressed also in a different manner. Any PhD is flexible, that's a good thing, since there is a lot of free time. So there are chances for you to pick any bad habit, to fall prey to addictions, to fall prey to different things. So it's best to have routines in place which will act like a compass. And any spiritual practice, whether it can be anything, for me it is Vipassana, but religious, non-religious, breath work, these things keep you grounded, help you navigate these kinds of waters. Whatever your qualification or whatever your achievements pre-PhD, there are always chances for you to feel that you don't know anything. This is a course which is quite practical, it's hands-on. It's not something that you study and you just know it, by heart it, answer it. It's not that straightforward. You won't even realize when you will start feeling like you don't know anything, and that if there is no action on that, then that self-doubt can be very crippling. While speaking to others, you may feel like you are not able to understand their work. The thing to understand is you need not understand their work. As long as the focus is on your work, comparing yourself to others, whether they publish publications fast, there is favoritism in the group, okay? Because I'm sure these things will come up as and when, and especially in your early years. So the key over here to understand is that each person's work is different, okay? Sometimes there is possibility that your colleague may work on something where publication will come easily. The work is such. Next, it could be something that there are things that you need to work on. There are things that you need to understand, and then you will get results. The journey is different for different people, and you just cannot assume that just because one person has published fast, he is superior, and if you have published later, you are inferior. With regard to the first point on self-motivation, frequent breaks important. We are always made to feel that whenever we are not there or I take a leave, there is some kind of insecurity I feel goes on around, and everybody wants to know where I was and what I was doing and all that stuff. Breaks are even more important in PhD, okay? And getting involved in activities in or outside your department, that helps. I personally prefer participating in activities outside my PhD zone, outside my work zone. If you are the kind of person who gets along well with people in your lab, then you might want to go for whatever activities, extracurricular, like whatever elocution competition or anything, painting or any kind of thing which has your soul in it. Having a kind of alternate life. We are so fixated on our PhD, and the environment around us makes you believe that PhD is the only thing in your life. PhD is a part of your life, okay? Even if you are made to believe that PhD is the only thing in your life, it is still a part of your life. So being isolated can make your PhD more difficult. Either you find support in the group or outside the group. It's very important to have somebody to speak to, your friends, colleagues or anyone. And as I mentioned earlier, there is always this pressure when you start to perform and to finish it, okay? Even if something that does not resonate with you, if something does not get aligned to your well-being, what I would suggest is keep options open, because you don't know whether you will be interested in it for next 2-3 years. Whenever something new is coming, we are always excited and fully into it that हम लोग तो इसे फोड़ देंगे. Always looking out for new opportunities, always keeping eye on what is new and what is upcoming. You may not even realize that that particular thing has more of your interest and more of your soul than what you are currently doing. So instead of shutting yourself down completely, having an open approach and exploring different things. Since I have a channel now on PhD, I keep watching PhD related videos. I happened to come across a video where a student had quit his PhD. The only thing that he said was he doesn't regret quitting PhD. He just said that he should have quit it earlier. And to be able to quit earlier, you need to have an open approach, if at all quitting is an option. No one starts this course thinking that they will quit PhD. I always feel PhD is a course in communications rather than your subject. Okay, communicating with supervisor, communicating with others, collaborating and all that. Even if you are an introvert and you don't know about these things, you will learn. Okay? You need not communicate in the manner that you are expected to communicate. You can communicate in your way. As long as the job is done, you will be fine. I'm stressing on this because this is one thing that students often come up with: fear of public speaking, For reference, I am not an expert. I have missed several of my presentations and public speaking opportunities. One thing that I've learned is we put that pressure on ourselves to communicate and to perfect it in the way that others want us to do. And this is that pressure that you will disappoint others, others will look down on you, others will think bad about you. This is the pressure that keeps you from performing. It's not your nervousness, it's not your fear of public speaking. You need to let go of those expectations from yourself. If you are having fear of public speaking, keep the expectations that this is the work you have done and this you have to tell it to someone. Okay, how you tell it, that is not important. That will come in later stages, but in the beginning, your job is to just communicate the work you have done to others in whichever way possible. Most of the students rely on external funding or external scholarships. So these have their own time slots. It takes time for funding to come. Till that time, you should have some kind of monetary source. And I always suggest having a side hustle, even if it's a full-time PhD, to support yourself. Students feel is that there is no work-life balance and all that. These things are true to some extent because that is what that has been normalized. For so many years, we have tolerated people who demand work from us at any time. We have normalized things that we should not be normalizing. Otherwise, in job or business, these things are not normalized. And one thing is also there that this course is one where you have to give your 100%. Okay, in anything you do in your life, you need to give your 100%. But this particular thing, the way it operates, whether to have work-life balance, okay, is on you. It's not on others. If you don't respect your time, nobody else will. If you don't respect your work-life balance, nobody else will. So it's up to you to set your boundaries. For others to respect you, you should be having routine for yourself to be able to navigate their demands. So whether it is workout or whether it is nutrition, eating right, not hanging out with negative people, these are some of the things that you need to do. These are some of the things that you need to do for yourself, and then only you can tell others not to disturb your schedule. Some people find PhD demanding or tough because they feel it has no future. There are different aspects to it. There are different opinions. I personally feel that if you have the thought of doing PhD, that means you are able to navigate it and you will be able to make a future for yourself. I would suggest you to take a pen and paper and write down why, if you are already into PhD, why have you taken admission for PhD, and if you have not taken admission for PhD, what are the things that are motivating you to do. If there is no challenge in life, there is no motivation, there is no joy. As per psychology, nothing motivates people more than having goals and working towards it. PhD may not be easy, but then if you think about it, what in life really is? You can always take a drop if things are not working in your favor. You can enroll, see in first year if it's working. If it's not, you can drop it. If you find that this course aligns to you, then you can always continue and make a career in research. Okay? Nobody speaks about these things in whatever fear, but that is not required. We need to come together and have a good discussion.